Hi everyone. The purpose of this video is to inform you that the Dail and the Seanad will next week vote on whether Ireland should opt into the EU Migration and Asylum Pact, with the Dail vote taking place at 3:50 p.m. on Tuesday the 18th of June and the Seanad vote taking place the following day on June the 19th at 12:45 p.m. As many of you may be aware, on the 10th of April 2024, the European Parliament voted to pass the EU Migration and Asylum Pact into law in the European Union. With the exception of Ireland and Denmark, all other EU member states will automatically become bound by the Pact. Now, the reason Ireland is not automatically bound by the Pact is because Ireland, along with the UK, negotiated an opt-in provision in relation to any European Union laws enacted in the areas of freedom, security and justice, which includes immigration and asylum laws, in a protocol to the Treaty of Amsterdam of 1997, with the opt-in provision being retained with the passing of the Treaty of Nice in 2002 and the Treaty of Lisbon in 2008. This opt-in provision is referred to as Protocol 21. What this means is that Ireland is not bound by EU law in the areas of immigration or asylum unless we voluntarily opt in, noting that if or when Ireland voluntarily opts into the Pact, there is no legal mechanism by which we can later opt out. So next Tuesday, June the 18th and Wednesday, June the 19th, TDs and Senators will vote on whether Ireland should trigger the Protocol 21 opt-in provision that the government now wish to exercise, noting that under the Constitution, the government is legally required to secure majority approval from both the Dail and the Seanad before they can formally opt us into the Pact. So I would ask that you please contact your TDs and Senators over the next 24 hours to ask them to vote no to the Pact for the following reasons. The Pact is made up of 5-number EU regulations designed to thoroughly overhaul migration and asylum laws across the European Union, such that 1. Ireland will have to accept an undefined number of asylum seekers annually or pay a financial penalty to the European Union of at least €20,000 per person. 2. It will become more difficult to return asylum seekers to first countries of asylum and safe countries as the rules around returns will become more restrictive, including that we will only be able to return applicants to countries which guarantee that the applicant will be allowed to remain in that country, and also that the applicant will be given access to adequate standard of living, healthcare and education. This will naturally rule out a considerable number of safe countries, including the likes of the United Kingdom due to their Rwanda policy. 3. Ireland will lose the ability to designate countries as being safe countries because the EU will have the authority to overrule any decision we make. 4. If another member state claims to be under migratory pressure, they can ask the EU that no other member state, including Ireland, return any asylum seekers to them for a period of up to 12 months. And 5. Helen McEntee and other members of the government have, over the past couple of months, claimed that Ireland will never be forced to accept any asylum seekers under the Pact, as we will always be entitled to pay the financial penalty of €20,000 that I referred to earlier, in lieu of accepting a quota of asylum seekers from other member states on an annual basis. Now, having to pay a financial penalty is bad enough, but there is also a very serious question mark over whether this statement regarding not having to accept any asylum seekers at all is true, due to the fact that one of the regulations that makes up the Pact, the Crisis and Force Majeure regulation, allows a member state facing migratory pressure to make a request to the European Commission for support, and as part of this request for support, they can tell the Commission that the only mechanism that will solve their migration problem is for other member states like Ireland to take in some of their asylum seekers. This regulation goes on to say that where a member state makes this claim, the European Commission can consider this claim when they are making their binding decision against member states, including Ireland. So you really should question the statement from Helen McEntee, where she says that Ireland would never be forced to accept asylum seekers from other member states, considering this provision has been included in one of the regulations. If you want a more in-depth understanding of the Pact, I've included a link in the description box to a video I prepared in April of this year, which goes through the Pact in far more detail. To conclude, I would ask that you please contact your TDs and Senators today to ask them to vote no to the EU Migration and Asylum Pact next week. I have been advised by TDs and Senators that template letters will be disregarded completely, so I have not prepared any template letters in this case. I would instead ask that you write your own email, which can be as simple as saying that you are very concerned by the potential consequences of the Migration Pact and asking your TDs and Senators to vote no. For convenience, I have included a link in the description box to the contact details for all TDs and Senators. Thanks for listening.